Hello and welcome. We are going to be modeling today using Inventor. We're going to show you how to do simple extrusions and extrude cuts using Inventor based off geometric figures that we have developed. So today, to begin this, we're going to simply start with a new project. We're going to pick a standard part, or IPT, and then we're going to OK that. This will bring us up. This drawing is done completely in decimal inches and will be generated on this screen. To begin, we are simply going to pan over and place our origin point in the lower left-hand area of our screen near our UCS icon. From here, we will begin by drawing with a simple rectangle. We're just going to draw it out, get it roughly to proportion, and then apply some dimensions to control the geometry of this shape. For our drawing here, this base plate that we're working on today will be 5.25 inches across and 3.25 inches vertically. Once that is done, we will simply zoom out, place it on our screen, and get a good look at it. Make sure everything is right. From here, we will finish this sketch and then begin with our features. We are going to extrude this feature. Well, it's the only thing we've drawn, so it's there. And we're going to extrude it the full width of it that we need to do this. In this case, it is 5/8 of an inch thick. So what we're going to do is change our distance to be 0.625 and OK that. We've simply made the block that is 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 by 5/8 of an inch thick. At this point, we will then select this surface facing us. We will create a 2D sketch upon it. To do this sketch, I'm simply going to draw a rectangle that extrudes beyond it to below it. Now, it does fit inside our part. This will be an extrude cut that we will then use to make the first notch in our piece on the upper side. Now, this notch is approximately 1.75 inches from each side. So if I take that as 1.75 for that dimension and change the dimension on this other side to be 1.75, I've now created the geometry to make our sketch. If we cut open air, we don't care. It's placed correctly as far as we care right now, so we'll then finish this sketch. It'll turn us back to our 3D view. We'll do an extrude again, and we'll select this rectangle we just made. But instead of extruding upward, we're going to do an extrude cut, which is our second option, and that cut will be 1/8 of an inch or 0.125 inches in depth. That is completed. Now I'm going to change our view on this part to show edges to make it a little more easy, a little more simplistic in our view so we can see what we got here. Now, our next part, we're going to rotate around so we can see the back side of this part. We're going to select this surface that is the bottom edge, and again we're going to create a 2D sketch upon it. In this case, we're going to create two rectangles this time, one coming in from each edge. We're going to make a notch on each side for the wheel brace to mount onto this base plate. So at this point, I need to know how far in this goes. Well, from here to here needs to be exactly 1.5 inches or 1.5 inches. Same thing on the other side of the part. Alter that to be 1.5 inches. That's done. We are then completed with this sketch, and we've got what we need. We don't care about this space out here because if we cut air, we cut air. It doesn't do anything, doesn't hurt our part, doesn't help our part. So I will go back to extrude. I will select this rectangle I just made and this rectangle I just made. It defaults back to whatever the last dimension I gave it was. I just have to change it to a cut and then go OK, and I've created that first notch. Now, the only other things I need to do is place holes in these corners here. I also need to cut a radius across that edge, that edge, that edge, and that edge. I can do that here. I'm going to put a fillet on this part. I'm going to put a fillet on this edge, and on this edge, and on this edge, and on this edge I can't actually see, but the computer can detect. Now the radius of that fillet is 0.5. So I highlight the radius right here, it's 0.5. It gives me a preview of what it's supposed to be. When I am done with that, I simply press enter, and I have that fillet completed. Now the last thing I have to do to complete this part is cut holes in it. Well, I'm going to rotate back around to the front view. I'm going to select this surface upon which to draw. I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to place some points. I'm going to place a point at the center of this and this radius, and come straight over here and put one at the center of this radius. Now I'm eyeballing this, and I will control it with the dimensions shortly. And that one. So once I've placed those, if I notice, I'm going to put a dimension on here just to show you what it does. It's 2.25 in between the holes. That is correct, okay, but what is going on is it is a driven dimension. In other words, it's being controlled because it shares a center point with this radius. That's fine for right now. I have no problem with that. I'm going to do the same thing to this side, and it should give me the same thing. 2.25? Yep, right on the money. So we'll check that one. Now from here to here, I need another dimension. I should be exactly in the middle of this part right here and here. Okay? So if this is 5.5 from there to there, and I'm in far enough, I should be at exactly an inch inside that, right? Well, I want to be exactly in the middle of where my dimension is. I am 1 inch inside, because I lose a 1/2 inch here and I lose a 1/2 inch here, to the center of that radius right there. So now all my dimensions are controlled. My sketch is completed. I am ready to cut my holes. I simply go to finish the sketch. I go to the hole generator under my features in the model. Click on it. It detects the center points automatically. This is generating a hole that is a through-all hole that is 0.25 in diameter. Well, in our case, these holes are supposed to be 3/8 of or 0.375 or 3/8 of an inch in diameter. We've got the centers marked. We don't have threads on this. We're actually completed. So if I just simply click OK, I've now completed this drawing. Once I've saved it as a new part, save as. I'm still going to put this on my desktop for right now. Save it. I usually save it in a part folder. Give it the name I want, which in this case would be base plate 1. And I save. I now have this part saved. That's all I need to do, and I am completed. I will be done.